Um, First of all, hello everyone, again. Um, I wanted to make another video today. I'm gonna try to stay mostly on topic because I tend to ramble a lot. But I wanted to talk about, I have notes this time. Maybe it'll help me stay on topic. Um, Basically just narcissistic abuse, growing up. I know that's not unique to me, and a lot of you out there have had like abusive parents or an abusive upbringing. But I kind of wanted to touch on it, just kind of my experiences, because growing up as a kid, I feel like when you're a kid, you don't really understand what abuse is because you don't really have a concept of it. At least not me. I didn't. You just you have no other frame of reference, so you kind of believe like hey, everybody's family's like this. you know. Yeah, it's not until later you kind of like start realizing yourself. But I guess one of the most scarring, traumatic ones for me was just just how my mom treated me and treated all of us really. It's funny because you don't really realize how horrible your parents are until you're old enough to kind of like form your own thoughts and opinions. um like for example, like me, I always tell this to people because like I feel like when you talk about how you were emotionally abused or neglected or bullied as a kid by your parents, people with normal parents don't really understand that. They're like, oh, but that's your mom, that's your family, you gotta make it work or whatever. That's messed up. She's still your mom, blah blah blah. I always tell people, look, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna put it to you this way, because there's no amount of words I can tell you that'll make you. You're not gonna see it my way. You've come with an agenda, and you're just trying to convince me to go and talk to my mom again or talk to my old family again. But what I tell people is like, just so you can understand the kind of situation I'm at, I have no memory of my mom ever giving me a hug or saying "I love you, son." No memory, none. It might have happened, but I can't recall one time that I can remember. You know, and I think I feel like that saying that to people just kind of, it's much more effective at like trying to like illustrate the point. You know, I remember plenty of times of getting yelled at for things that aren't even my fault. I've gotten hit a lot as a kid. I've been beaten. This is a story that I that I don't tell anybody, really. But at the time, I remember one time, my mom grabbed a belt and whipped me so freaking hard, so many times all across my body, that one, I had bruises all over in the shape of the belt, and two, it hurt to put on a shirt, and I still went to school like that. Um, I was in seventh grade at the time. To be fair, this doesn't excuse or justify why she hit me with the belt that hard. But to be fair, I was playing with fire in my room. I didn't start a fire. She didn't walk into my room and there was like a bonfire in the middle of the room. You know what I mean? She just found like charred carpet, and I didn't do anything with fire after that. But she found the charred carpet and decided to take out all the frustrations of her life onto me. You know, me being a good son, I didn't tell anybody. Um, and you know what? Looking back, I don't think I would anyway, knowing what I know now. And even now, if I was to be transported back in time and I had the opportunity to report my mom to like the police or something, I don't think I would. It doesn't mean that it wasn't scarring, literally scarring and mentally scarring for me, traumatic. But yeah, that's just an example, and that's just my mom. My older brother, my older brother's a piece of work. He's such a horrible human being. He's 42, I believe, but his mind is still stuck like if he's 16 years old. He's never grown up. He has never grown up. He has the emotional maturity of a 16-year-old, the same motivations of a 16-year-old, you know. But yeah, that guy's not only harmed me, he's harmed a lot of people. It's so bad that I've just disowned him. I go around my whole life, I don't tell people I have brothers, really. I just tell people I have sisters. I only have sisters, I don't have any brothers. But he's your brother. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not my brother. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you pull out a DNA test and then show it in my face and say, see, you're related by DNA, blah, blah, blah. I will still say no, you know? But I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I don't want him in jail or anything like that. I just want him to stay away from me. That's it. You know, that's all I ask. Just leave me alone. I'm 32 years old, turning 33. I don't want to deal with the 42-year-old man-child. Really, that's my mom's. That's her burden that she's chosen to continue to do. You know, that's her responsibility. It's not even. She doesn't have to. She just makes it her responsibility, and that's actually part of the reason I'm estranged from her, is because she always wants to shove him back in my life. She thinks she's sneaky. She thinks she's gonna get me to like him somehow. It's like, you have to, I don't know, some people are just weird. Some people are weird. It took me a lot of healing and inner work to kind of stop being angry. Though, you know, like, I can talk about this now, but give it like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would not be able to control my anger, even discussing this topic, you know? So yeah, that's my home life was no good. Not really much good. My sisters were pretty mean to me. They're good people now. They're better people now, but you know, it was a bullying environment at work, or not at work, at home. And then since I moved around a lot, you know, every 4 years we moved, you know, so I went to elementary school, and then we moved when I was in second grade. And then we moved again when I was in, second grade, first move. 7th grade, second move. And then 11th grade was the last move, I believe. So I just, at some point, I just kind of gave up on trying to make friends, you know, and I wasn't always a very social guy. Even as a kid, I always kept like maybe 3 friends at most. I was never into I never really had like a big friend group. But that small ability to socialize was destroyed just from moving around so much. Because I kind of thought to myself, like, what's the point of making friends if I'm just gonna move again, you know? There's no point. Like, but see, the worst part about moving in middle school is that like middle school kids are psychopaths. So like when I remember going to middle school, and I was the most, even to this day, that is, I feel like I went to prison. It doesn't feel like I went to school. It feels like I went to juvenile hall for years, you know? And kids are ruthless. Hormonal, emotional, violent, screeching. They're ruthless when you're by yourself. It may as well just be a prison yard. You know, like, somehow I survived that, but I was so depressed. I was basically just suicidal at that age, you know? I didn't do anything to myself, but I retreated. That's when I became the worst version of myself, the most mentally unwell, because I was always by myself. And then at home, when you have emotionally abusive, narcissistic family, they don't know how to make connection with you. So I was like, I feel like I was not given a fighting chance to just be a human being, you know. And my mom was super controlling. Like I remember when I was a kid, I wasn't like really allowed to have friends over at all. You know, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I wasn't allowed to do after school activities. You know, there's something wrong with my mom. And I feel it has to do with her traumas growing up, because I don't sit here and pretend that my mom's just like this demonic monster that crawled out of the mud one day and, you know, like with a demon circle around her, and that's how she was born. She was born a full grown adult. No, she was traumatized too. That doesn't excuse the way she acted growing up, but that explains. It helps me have a little bit of compassion for, at least for her. My brother's the same thing. As horrible as he is, and look, my brother, the oldest one, I have another brother. He's just kind of a dick to me. He hates me. He hasn't told me why. When people ask him why, he has no real reason. It just feels like he just wants to have someone to. He wants me to be a doormat, and he's mad that I won't allow it. He just wants to abuse me, so I don't talk to him either. You know, I don't hate the fool, the dude, the fool. He's just an abusive asshole, you know. But he's on that side of the family. But my oldest brother, before I kind of lose my train of thought, I always tell people, because narcissistic. My brother's the old king narcissist. He's the king. Literally, he doesn't care about anything. That's not him, right? When I describe him to other people, because I don't think a lot of people understand how bad a person like that can be. I always tell them, whoever wrote the Bible, when they wrote the part about hell, they had people like him in mind. They wrote the part about hell specifically because of people like that. That's what my brother is. He's done good things, but he has never done anything kind in a way that wasn't supposed to be like a way to have a leverage over you. He would hold it over your head all the fucking time. You know, you can't be nice to people like that, because they're just self-serving. You know, you lend them money and they try to weasel out of it. Like, he would pull this trick that he probably thought was really clever. He would ask me for money. He asked everybody for money, but he would ask me for money. I'm poor as fuck, man. I'm like 19, working a minimum wage part-time job. I'd give him $20. He's like, I'll pay you back. He would do this cute little thing where he would take me to the store. He's like, oh, let me get you something. Buy me like a bag of chips and a soda, and then try to later on. I'm like, hey, can I get my money back? No, I already paid you back with chips and soda. Gave me $3, so he's up like $17, and he's trying to say that he paid. He's trying to gaslight me. Like, I think that works for a lot against a lot of people, but that bothered me. I didn't let it go. I remember one day, I think I was 19 at the time. It was 19 years old. Was there was an incident that I don't know if I'm gonna share on this channel. There was an incident between me and my brother, and that was the day that I decided that he is not my brother anymore. That is the day that he died to me, right? I was just tired of his shit. But before that, I remember he called me, same thing. Oh, hey, let me borrow some money, because this dude, he had a full-time job, but he was always broke. Why? Probably doing drugs, man. Buying alcohol, spending it on dumb shit. And I remember telling him, called me on my phone. I think it was a Motorola. Oh, no, a Razor. That old Razor. Oh, freaking ad.
Constant small talk, the background noise.
I had a Razor. He called me and he was like, hey, same thing. I need to borrow some money. I stopped him and I said, call me to say hi. Don't call me to ask for money. After that, he didn't ask anymore. But there wasn't much opportunity for him to ask, because shortly after that, I think, I don't know how many months passed, like, we had the incident, and then I just disowned him. I'm like, he is not my brother anymore. To this day, it still bothers me when people, like, I don't talk to a lot of other family, because, like, they are enablers of that kind of abuse. They know a lot. There is a lot of family lore that if I told you, you'd think, like, how are half these people not in prison, number one. And number two, why is everybody acting like it's okay? Like they're just acting like everything's fine. But a lot of family I don't talk to because I'm just angry at them. And I don't think I'm not at a place where I can talk to them about these kinds of subjects, and I'm not gonna get angry at them. And I don't want to be mean to a lot of them, you know. Other family I stopped talking just because I don't like them either. They always rubbed me the wrong way. So yeah, narcissistic family is growing up with a family like that. I don't know how much into detail I want to get into, you know, like getting hit and that kind of thing, getting yelled at when you're like 4 or 7, getting beat. But it kind of robs you of a lot of. It put me in a state of mind where I was always anxious. I had so much horrible like social anxiety when I got older, and then like mix this together, right? You go to school, middle school, everyone bullies you, right? You get home, everyone bullies you. So I would spend so many days just locked in my room, because at least in my room, nobody can bother me. And I just kind of did that for years and years and years. And it wasn't until I was like 25, and you know, I tried to get a part-time job and all this stuff. I tried moving out when I was like 23. I just wasn't like narcissistic families will not teach you how to be self-sufficient, because as much as they mistreat you, they want to have control over you, you know. It's like that saying goes, like misery loves company. And I feel like the reason that my mom, I feel like the reason she is the way she is because she's miserable. I'm not gonna use colorful language like I really want to, but she's a miserable person. She's a miserable person, and when people are miserable, they mistreat others. I think that's part of the reason why my younger brother wants to mistreat me, because he's unhappy and he wants to take it out on me, you know. And they do the thing that narcissistic people always do. They kind of all just decided I'm the black sheep. It's okay to mistreat me. They would go to people that like my sister's girlfriend, boyfriends or whatever, and they would be like, I would be cool with these guys, right? We were basically friends. Then out of nowhere, they would start treating me bad because my sisters are telling them shit about me, and my mom is telling them shit about me, lies. You know, like, oh, he's crazy, fuck him. And especially my brother, my younger brother, the oldest one, he's shitty in a way that he's just a narcissist, right? He's gonna try to intimidate you. He's gonna threaten you with a gun and all that kind of stuff. My younger brother, he's more of like a kind of person would that be, like a manipulator. He's like a pathological liar. He'll go, people that haven't met me yet, he'll just talk massive amounts of shit about me. And then when he meets me, he's like, for a while he pretended he still liked me. You know, we used to be best friends when we were kids. He's the kind of dude that'll smile in your face, and then like as the minute you turn around, just stab you in the back. And then, why'd you stab me in the back? I didn't stab you in the back. You know, he's that kind of guy. He's like, he's a weird guy. He's a weird person for sure. Yeah, I would talk to people that haven't met yet. They don't know shit about me. I've yet to make a first impression on these people. But the way when I talk to them, I know they've heard about me before, right? Because they're hanging out with everybody else. The way they would look at me was like if I was about to just start barking, right? They looked at me like they were expecting me, because they probably told them some crazy fucking shit about, oh, Che, he's crazy, Chavos. Salvador's crazy, he's this and that, you can't do. I don't know what the hell they would tell them. But they would look at me like if I was a freaking alien, right? And it was years of that, you know. There was one year where I've had enough, and this is when I'm more healed, because when I was around 25, I kind of started going to therapy, and that's when I started to hearing the term like, well, like they started telling me more like, oh, you might be autistic, you know, like you might be on the high end, and I don't know if that's true. I try not to claim that for myself, you know, because whether I am autistic or not, or high functioning or whatever you want to say, I don't think it's too relevant, because I still have to live my life, you know. It's just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I do find value in that, in in learning about autism, just so I could know like what probably is gonna like burn me out, right? So I use it in that way, but I don't really want to get like at least not right now. I don't think it's very useful to get like an official diagnosis, because I'm afraid I'm gonna use it as an excuse to like not want to do things. I don't want to be like, oh, I can't do it, I'm autistic, it's hard for me. It's like, I like having the plausible deniability, this gray area where it's like, well, if I'm not doing it and I'm not autistic, it's like I'm just failing myself. And it's also like, oh, if I am autistic, look what I've accomplished. So I like living in this little gray area right in the middle. Maybe one day I'll go and get the official diagnosis, but I don't really see it serving me very much. I feel like I might be, because I don't really catch a lot of social cues. A lot of my life, I kind of feel like I would be surrounded by a group, like every friend group that I've ever had past like middle school eventually turns on me, because they know that they can, because I don't get the social cues. I think what happens, this is the way I dissected it, is they'll try to be cute, right? They'll say something and they'll kind of like wink at each other, like, let's mess with this guy, you know what I mean? And it's like, at first it goes over my head, but of course people get comfortable, and then they start to get more brazen, they start to get more obvious with it, to the point where it's like it becomes, they've gotten so comfortable that they just they make it so obvious that it's like, okay, now it's so blatant that I know it's obvious disrespect now. And that's when things change, because one or two things happen. One, this happens most of the time, I'm like, fuck you guys, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and I hope you die. Like, I get mad. Or number two, they think that they can square up with me, and I'm like, all right, let's fight. I'm a tiny guy, but I'm not afraid. I'll go down fighting. There's very few people I will not fight, Like I always say, I don't fight people that want it more than me. That's like people that are willing to die, or like some psycho that's so violent and so like crazy and so maybe like psychotic, narcissistic, whatever word you want to put on it. I don't mess with guys. I don't do anything with them, because those are the kind of guys that are like take like days off of work, risking their jobs, follow you around in a car with a gun and just like stalk you, and like they're just waiting to get you. Those are the people I don't mess with. But most other people, if you want to fight, I'm willing to fight, because it's like, all right, you thought you could disrespect me? Okay, you're a big man, I'm 5'3". Obviously you can take me, right? I'm a stocky little munchkin. I'm not freaking Hercules. I've actually lost some weight too, so still husky though. But I'm a wide little person, Like I'm not afraid to fight. And something that I know about bullies and people that are like cruel is that they tend to be very, very cowardly. They have a very cowardly center. Not that they wouldn't fight, but a lot of them, they pick after people that can't or won't defend themselves. That's why you get a lot of these men, I don't think they're men, but children, boys, they want to fight girls. They want to fight women. They want to beat their kids. They want to fight like some clerk that's like an old man, skinny guy. But the moment a real guy, comes up and wants to square up with them, all of a sudden they got excuses. Or sometimes you don't even have to be stronger than them. You just have to actually just stand up for yourself. Just like, because a lot of these people, a lot of bullies, they pick targets that they don't want them to fight back. They want something easy. They don't want to fight something that's going to fight back, because they don't want to. There's a chance, even if it's a small chance, that they're going to lose. And for them, that's too much for their ego to take. A lot of the times they're like, oh, blah, blah, they'll skip over their words. That's happened to me plenty of times, And I'm, like I told you, I'm a freaking manlet. I'm tiny. I'm a 5'3". Granted, I am pretty fat. I weigh like 190 right now. When I was in better shape, I was huskier. I was bigger than this. I was like a freaking unit. And I would still do that to people, man. If they're like trying to mess with me, or heaven forbid, you're trying to mess with my niece and I'm there, I'm like, all right, well, now I'm really gonna have to like beat your ass, dude. But for the most part, I don't like violence. I don't like confrontation. It's very it's one, it's annoying, and two, it's just like I just don't like it. I'm not, but it's unfortunately it is kind of necessary in life in general, just not in modern times. So yeah, maybe I wanted to give some advice because I have notes here because I want to stay on topic, but I feel like I want to give some advice to anyone else that's like maybe struggling in life. Maybe you're an autistic adult or you're an autistic kid, and your life's you feel like you're down on your luck. It's like, oh, can't hold down a job. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. This and that. Just know that you can get out of it. Like, there was a time in my life where I couldn't hold down a job to save my freaking life. All right, it took me years. I started this journey with therapy when I was 25, and I refused to give up. I can be pretty stubborn. It's like, no, I'm gonna do this. I don't care how long it takes. 'Cause if you don't start, it's never gonna happen, right? I would say first, if you want a job, let's say you're 30 something, you live with your parents, you don't know what to do, you want to move but you can't, your parents are toxic, everyone's gaslighting you to, oh, why can't you do it? Okay, whatever. There's some jobs out there where you don't have to interact with anybody at all, and that's how I did it. Like, that's why I chose trucking. Before that, I was like a security guard for a trucking company, and that job, it's so overstimulating because the people checking in truck drivers, man. Truck drivers are freaking assholes. I'll tell you that much. What I learned from checking in truck drivers, you have to write down all their information, stop them. People in general do not like showing ID. I don't know what the issue is with that. You ask them for ID and they look at you and they react like if you just told them you just fucked their mom and got her pregnant. Like, and you're gonna do it again. Dude, I've been threatened so many times and belittled and all this stuff. But that was when I was younger and less, in a better state of mind. These days, if I get that, well, I work here for a security company, so I have a lot more patience. These days, I just let it roll off my back. Water off a duck's back. Back then, if I was a little bit more, I guess, confident, I think I would have just gotten into more fights. But so I'm happy I'm not in that mindset anymore. These days, I just, people tell me something like, oh, you should already know this and that. Sorry, sir. So I'm sorry, ma'am. You go right ahead. You get more, the more you do things in life, the more you start to learn that you're very capable, right? And I still am pretty autistic, but I try to be genuine with people. And I've learned how to build a tolerance for masking. So maybe, I know masking for people on the spectrum is very difficult, but the way I would describe it, because I used to have no ability to mask, right? The way I would say is just train that ability, because masking I see it as a skill. You're not great at it now. It's like building a pain tolerance. If I grabbed like a leather belt and I did this with my hand and I smack it really hard, it's gonna hurt the first time. But it feels like that's what you need to do. But so what I would do is just like start slow, every day, and then slowly but surely over time, you're gonna get like a leather kind of skin on your hand. And then one day you're gonna be able to catch like a baseball bat or a baseball just with your bare hands. It's like, it's a skill. Build up your tolerance. I've managed to build it up enough, at least for the job that I have now, where I can do it for like 8 hours. And it can be kind of a slog, it could be kind of a gauntlet. But I remind myself, like, oh, I only need to do this for another hour and then I'm off the clock, But if you can't do that, trucking. Truck driving jobs where you just are alone 90% of the day, and then 10% of the day you deal with people, just mask long enough to talk to them. Just be cordial. Practice, don't be so much in your own head. Don't be like, oh, I'm acting weird, I'm doing this. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like when you're walking and you're thinking about walking. If you start walking mechanically, of course you're gonna stick out. You know, if you start walking like because you're thinking about it, of course it's gonna stick out. But if you just kind of like relax, you know, loosen your shoulders. Just loosen your shoulders, walk. You might have a weird walk. It's fine. You might stutter over your words. You might be nervous. Just kind of like nothing's gonna happen. It's just the thing is you just break yourself out of these old out of your old mindset, and it takes time. I'm not saying, and it's not even gonna be a linear progress. Some days you're gonna do really good. You're gonna be really proud of yourself. The next day you're gonna be really disappointed in yourself because you're gonna be like, I did this yesterday, now I can't. Do better next time. And do better. Oh no, I had a bad week. Oh, I got better. Had a good week. I had one bad day, but the week's pretty good. The more you do it, the better you become. It's the skill. It's like doing push-ups every day, or like going to the gym. You know, first day you go to the gym, you're not bench pressing 2 plates. I don't know, where are you? No, you start with little weights. You know, you start with the tiny weights. You bench the bar by itself, and it takes like maybe a year before you could really start benching. That's what, as an autistic person, I'm probably on the spectrum. You guys could probably look at me and be like, I don't see it. Oh, maybe you are. Oh, it's obvious. My advice is just practice. That's it. And have some confidence. And if you're surrounded by people that are always trying to gaslight you, I would say just don't hang out with people like that. Because the people you surround yourself with, that's who you become. If you're around a bunch of negative people, you're going to become a negative person. You know? And maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe it's like I said, maybe you just live with your parents, and your parents are pretty toxic because they're your parents. Maybe your parents are just toxic. And maybe all the family members, like maybe the family's decided you are the black sheep. It's okay to use this person as a punching bag. It's okay to use this person as a human stress ball. Just be patient and let that motivate, let this motivation, because this is what motivated me when I was in this situation. I decided, there was this one Christmas, I don't want to get too into details. The moment that I left and I became estranged, if that's the word, estranged from that side of my family, it was a very horrible Christmas for me. And I realized I'm leaving. And that anger and that stubbornness, you know, I have this stubbornness. Like if I want something, I'm gonna make it happen. I don't care what I need to do. I don't care if I need to work my fingers to the bone. I'm gonna make something happen because this is not working anymore. And it took me a couple months. It's like I was angry for those 6 months, but I was like, my anger was stronger than like my fear. And then in that time I moved out. I first step, I got a job, and it was a trucking that I knew for certain I can do this. I can do this because I don't have to talk to anybody. So I'm not gonna be overstimulated or angry. I had bad days, but I can do it. Then once I had enough money, I was financially stable, I started looking for apartments. And then I started slowly moving bills that my parents were paying for me over to my own account. So it was a slow burn. To the point where there was one day where I was like, I didn't make this move. I didn't cut ties with that side of my family until I was certain that they had no more leverage over me. I didn't want it to be like, oh, well then we just won't pay your bill unless you talk to us or something like that. Because people that hate you, they're for some reason obsessed with you. Like they would not leave me alone for years after I stopped talking to them. They were trying to get everybody to, get him to talk to me, get him to talk to me. I talked to them here and there, but it was like I was testing them. Let's see if you have changed. They haven't changed, and I don't take whatever conversation I have at face value, because a lot of people, they put up a mask, especially narcissists. They put up a mask. They can be very charming because they're used to manipulation. It's like when someone is dating and they say wait 6 months and you'll see who they really are. It's kind of like that. Nobody can put up a mask forever. It gets tiring. They want to be comfortable and they want to be genuine. And for them, being genuine is being toxic. Okay, before I rant, keep ranting. Get a job, where you don't have to be overstimulated. Make sure you can afford your bills, and then cut any financial ties that give them leverage over you. And then once you get there, because this is what I did. One day they were on their bullshit. They called me trying to freaking be toxic, and I just said, all right, fine. I just hung up, blocked their numbers, and I never spoke to them again. You know, what were they gonna do? Kick me out of their house? I was paying my own apartment. They were gonna shut off my phone bill. I was already paying the phone bill. They had no leverage, and that drove them fucking crazy. Okay, they had no leverage. All they could do was spread rumors about me, but they were doing that anyway. They were lying to other family members, and they would call me like, "Oh, you should talk to them. They're this, they're that," and I would be very frank with them. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna talk to them, and if you bring this subject up again, I'm gonna block your number too. They stop bothering me eventually. You know, because the thing is, when people like that come with you like that, what they're not there to listen to your side of the story. They're there to try to convince you to talk to them again. And that's why I decided not to waste my time. Because if they keep pushing, if people that don't know me very well, that are in my family but don't know me that well, they will try to push me, and I will get angry. And I will say things that I'm going to feel bad about. Because when I'm mad, I just stop caring. Like, even me, when I get to a certain point, I just fucking stop caring. I don't even care anymore. I'm going to say what I want to say. And I'll deal with the consequences later. And so, you know, I've learned not to be that way. I guess that's the advice. I hope I didn't ramble too off topic this time. But that's my advice. You know, if you live in a narcissistic family, as for bullying, if you were being bullied in school, I would honestly, that's a tough one because I was bullied in school. I remember thinking, like, I don't know, would I have been better off just being homeschooled or not? You know, I would say just be strong. It's temporary. Everything in life is temporary. Good things are temporary, but the bad things are temporary too. Just, I guess the takeaway of this rambling video mess is, you know, just build up, if you're autistic, build up your pain tolerance or your tolerance for masking. Do it just enough at key moments, and then outside of that, go back to being yourself. You know, that's my advice. You know, and don't let your past turn you into an angry, bitter person, because I almost did. If it wasn't for my nieces and my sisters, they're the kind of part of my family that I do keep around because I love them. We've grown very close. I consider them my only family. I have two sisters and some nieces and nephews. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd have gotten this far. I don't think I would have healed this much. So if you could find good people like that, hold on to them. They're very important. Like, we were our own little family, and she's been wronged in her own ways too. It's like, it's not just me. I'm not the only one that's been wronged. Them more than me, right? See, the take pride, because this is what I take pride in the fact that I may have come from a very depressing, anxiety-inducing, traumatic childhood, and I'm proud that I didn't let it turn me into a bad person, or into a bitter person, or an abusive person. You know, like, I was starting to pick up some of those traits, and I worked against it. I grew emotionally. There's this therapist on Twitch that his name is Dr. K. He helped me a lot with his videos, books, YouTube on psychology, on trauma. Do a lot of the inner work, you know, because it's not only good for people around you, it's good for you're gonna feel better. You're gonna feel more stable. You know, I don't wake up feeling like back then I used to just be depressed all the time, weeks on end. These days, I don't feel depressed very long. You know, I have days where I'm depressed here and there, but it's not that intense. And it goes away after a while. It's like sometimes you're just in a funk. That's normal, you know? Anyway, I hope my video helped someone. I'm trying to be a better creator, because I think the kind of creator I want to be is someone that like I want to instill positivity and hope into people, you know, at least by being an example. And then like maybe I'm not the best example, you know. I didn't come from a lot of you are probably listening to my story and you're like, that's all that happened to you. I wish that's all that happened to me, you know. And that's fair, you know. If you guys want to leave anything in the comments, tell me about your experiences or anything that's troubling you, you want some advice, leave it in the comments. I'll read it. You know, just be positive. No, same rules apply everywhere. Don't be in the comments abusing each other and bullying each other. Otherwise I'm gonna have to like ban you or delete the comment or whatever it is you can do on YouTube. But yeah, I hope I helped someone today. All right, and I think that's a video. I'm gonna try to have more topic-based videos in the future going forward. So, you know, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.